Are you South Asian and looking to lose body fat and look like my after picture? Stay tuned because I'm going to break it down how I got from 20+% body fat to getting shredded. Have you been stuck at 25% body fat for years? You're South Asian and you're like, man, it's my genetics. You see everyone else get results but yourself. So in this video, I'm going to break down like the blueprint on how we've had hundreds of transformations with South Asians as well. And you could be one of them once you do watch this video. The first part is you've got to understand your body fat percentage. As guys, and I've been very guilty of this, we think we have less body fat and a lot more muscle mass than we almost think. One of the things I would actually recommend is getting your body fat tested. The problem is sometimes they go very expensive. Over here in London and in the States, they can be well over $100 plus just to get DEXA scan done. I don't always recommend that. I think a calipers test could be really good. The other ones you could possibly do is just actually hire a coach. Coaches who've been in the industry can get a good gauge on pictures. For example, when we get a client, we look at their pictures and we can gauge like how much body fat they may hold. Most times where you want to be at least 85% to 90% accurate, this is how we gauge it through. Now, the dangers of being high body fat percentage. If you're close to 25 plus 30%, the risk is heart disease, cardiovascular health, being in the tatters, diabetes, everything around that, especially being South Asian. We're at more risk than any other race and ethnicity, and we've got to be very careful. One of the benefits of also, going from 25%, 30% down to single digit potentially, or even 12, 15, is you're also in a healthier state. It's not just all about looking like the before and after and some of the results you've seen. The health benefits are huge. The benefits with their own labs, which is really crucial to going from A to B. Just understand where you're at with your body fat percentage. So if you're at 30% body fat, it may not take you 12 weeks to go to 30 to 10. It may take you way longer. For example, if you're 15% body fat and you want to get down to single digit, it may take you a short period of time. However, one of the key things to do from a transformation perspective is give yourself enough time. But if you understand your body fat percentage, it can help you also map out that time as well. The first thing, I think most people can do, and one of the best things that I ever did when I first got into the fitness industry was just start to consume more protein. As a South Asian growing up, everyone knows this story, right? You grow up with extra carbohydrates in your diet, you grow up with extra fats. I used to come home from school, I would have basically biscuits, I'd have milk, I'd have tea, and I would also have a full-on dinner. And if you're Indian and South Indian, or South Asian I should say, you'd grow up with a bit of shak and rotli, right? Which is like basically carbs, and I'd have minimal to no protein, especially if you're in a vegetarian household. I would almost have chicken once a week, and that would be from a restaurant, which doesn't mean you're also getting enough protein in. So one of the first things I did was actually try to get enough protein for my own body weight. Naturally, you want to aim for about 0.8 to 1 gram per body weight per pound from a protein perspective. I think this can really help you. It can be quite tricky, especially if you're like new into the game, you don't want to spend too much money on supplements and protein powders. Then I do think, being slightly low on the protein end, but also it'll be probably the most protein you ever got. Like as soon as I managed to increase my protein, I started having a lot more whole foods in my nutrition. I started to understand the plate a lot better. Everyone understands the one plate rule, fistful of protein and fistful of carbohydrates, the rest of vegetables. I just started doing a lot more of that. What transformed for me was about 2 years after that, I really started to track my macros instead as well. I went from just tracking things like protein, which I think is a great thing for a beginner, by the way. And then I started tracking my macros to the T. I knew exactly how many fats I was getting per day. I knew how much carbohydrates I was getting per day. I mixed that up with two things. I managed to get my strength training up, and I also focused on movement, whether it was through cardio or steps. And this is the philosophy used over here at KMAK Fitness with most of our clients, especially from a South Asian perspective. We want to really focus on protein, but we also want to get you strength training because we want you to build muscle tissue. Whether you're male or female, I think it's really important. I made a lot of mistakes. I remember growing up, I'd be training 6 days a week, and it would just be like, I wasn't hitting the body part twice per week, and it was a mess looking back on it. I don't know how I recovered, but when you're young, you do everything. You do things that you'll make mistakes with, and I'm grateful of those times, because if I didn't make those mistakes, then I don't think I would be here, because we'd still be making mistakes and we wouldn't have enough clients and we wouldn't have a business at all. So we focus on strength training. And if you are a beginner right now, you want to really just focus on a few things. You want to get at least 3 sessions a week. You may want to start with even full body sessions because, like I said, you're getting the body part twice per week there, and then gradually move up to like 4. I don't think you should go from beginner status all the way to 5-6 sessions because I just think it's a bit of an overkill, and also don't think it will help you with recovery as well. This is my secret weapon from a fat loss perspective, which is your steps. I think this is one of the most underrated hacks from a training perspective, the overall from a body transformation perspective. And I actually think, and there's research on this from science as well, anywhere between 8 to 10K steps in is gonna do a lot when it comes down to fat loss, but also keep off body fat in the long term. We've actually got quite bad at not moving. We haven't moved a lot. The key stats we've seen on average is when clients start with us, they're doing about 3,000 to 4,000 steps on average only. The first thing we tend to do is at least try to double it up. If they're doing 3,000, let's get them to 6, doing 4,000, get them to 8, and then gradually build up. And the mental benefits they get from that and the mental benefits I get from that is second to none. So I love getting my steps in. I live in England, so sometimes getting steps in can be very, very, very tricky. The walking pad is an underrated hack for this as well. In the mainstream, it's been quite popular in the last probably 2 to 3 years. The rise of remote working, remote culture. If you're in a Zoom meeting, you see one of your colleagues getting their steps in on a treadmill or a walking pad, they're most likely on a health kick and they're probably trying to get their steps. The main blueprint I want you guys to focus on is firstly protein and just understanding your nutrition at a high level. But if you can focus on protein as a South Asian, this will be game changing. Making sure you're strength training, which I think will be really, really, really crucial. And then the other thing would be getting your movement in. Don't try to go all or nothing with this. Don't try and train 6 days a week, right? If you've never trained before and you're going all in for that, I think that will be a killer. Focus on at least just training 3 days a week. The sessions doesn't have to be 2 hours long. It could be 45 minutes to an hour, which is what our clients end up doing here at KMAK Fitness. And that's how they've ended up getting all of these results. That's been the main focus for us guys, is keeping things simple. I've made a lot of mistakes, so you don't have to make these mistakes. And that was the blueprint and how I went from here to here. If you enjoyed that video, I want you to click the link below if you want to book in a free strategy session. We're more than happy to obviously help you guys out. If you don't want to do that, of course, we're more than happy to also give you a free South Asian fat loss guide. All you got to do is literally go to my IG, Instagram, like right here, DM me the word like fat loss, and we'll basically send you fat loss and put YouTube next to it so we know you come from YouTube. Yeah, we'll send it across to you guys as well and enjoy. If there's any questions for me, of course, feel free to obviously DM as well, and good luck with your fat loss journey.